Hello, welcome back. Different camera setup because funny thing about this one, I'm watching it live. So I actually haven't seen this episode yet. This is the first time I'm doing it where I haven't seen the episode. So I'm gonna be as of recording this is like super late at night, by the way. It's just I had a long day. I had to work on a different video, and then time slipped away from me. I kind of forgot I had to watch She-Hulk. So I usually watch She-Hulk episodes like Sunday morning after they're up on Disney Plus, and I watch them with my brother. But I was invited on to a podcast to talk about this episode specifically, and that's the next day. So the day's already come and gone. It's like a quarter to 3 a.m. I have a very late sleep schedule right now. Just I'm not gonna get into it. I'm happy these are half-hour episodes, so I'm not like sitting here for an hour, so I can finish recording this, go to bed. I will be on the Maclunkey Squadron podcast talking about She-Hulk episode 5, but I haven't seen it yet as of recording this, so I'm gonna be talking about it the next day. So I need to watch it. So I might as well record it, and then yeah, unfortunately I don't have my usual watch days with my brother because of this. It's fine. I'm just gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch it at the same time as him. But I said, hey, I know what this episode is going to entail. It's going to have a specific cameo, as far as I've gathered from teasers and stuff. And we're currently going through the Defenders saga, as it's called now, the Netflix Marvel shows. He's become a fan of Daredevil, so I definitely want to see his reaction. So I'm like, hey, we're still gonna watch this together. Don't watch it on your own. I'm like, but I'm on a podcast, so I have to watch the episode, unfortunately, myself. Because we couldn't, I just had no time to get together with him. Like, there's a reason why we watch it on Sundays. Our schedules just don't line up to watch it before then. So I'm going to hit play and watch this, and I'm doing a different recording setup, so my camera quality is not as good. I mean, still 1080p, but it's a webcam versus an actual camera I typically use for these. But yeah, I'm just going to record my live reaction, and I'm using two recording capture windows, which I normally never do. And I don't know how my computer's going to take it because it's been acting weird lately for when I stream. So this might not work out good, and I might just be recording nothing, and then I lost my footage. But we'll see how it goes. I'll record it, and we'll see, and hopefully it all goes well.
Hey Titaniacs, can't wait to see you all this weekend at You're beautiful.
She's like barely showed up in the show, and now they're like, she's like, I can't believe this woman.
It's got your name, She-Hulk, right here on the
This is someone else.
You know, Jen, the way trademark works is whoever gets there first gets it, you know? So if you would have done yours first, then she wouldn't have been able to have done that, you know?
She-Hulk by Titania.
Oh, I like
you.
that. I like that.
For example? You're taking the photo? Just
Oh my, why is she? Why? Why?
The Iron Man 3s are coming out and they're limited.
Oh,
to
from the
one pair per
advertisement.
customer.
Why do you need two pairs?
One to rock and one to stock.
Can this drip broker find someone who could do custom clothing for, say, a superhuman sized person?
Oh, that's how she gets her costume?
Lonzo says that it's a front for a superhero clothing business.
Oh my god, there's like a thing in the comics that's just like this.
Hi, are you ready to order?
There's a
Hey,
QR
how you
code.
doing, man?
This is a boba cafe.
我们不是警察.
What is that, Chinese? I'm not Chinese.
I said we're not cops.
And I said it in Chinese.
I feel so much shame. He's mad. I offended him.
This episode, I don't know why I find this episode so funny. Oh my god.
Avengers t-shirt.
Oh my god.
It says Avengers.
You don't like Avengers? I got Avengers.
Oh, with an I.
It's bootleg Avengers merch. If Disney doesn't make Avengers merch, There is a tailor in the Marvel Comics who works on superhero and supervillain clothing. Have you seen like the I can't remember what the costume's called. It was in the Spider-Man game. It's like the futuristic. It's like a leather jacket. That tailor worked on that leather jacket look.
Did Doctor Strange have to trademark his name? Did Thor?
You chose two examples of people who use their real names.
So what? As soon as she hears it on the news, she's supposed to trademark it?
Nice suit, Shrek.
Oh my god.
Jennifer Walters was not interested in the She-Hulk name until it became associated with this incredibly successful.
Oh, she got hired for that name.
Well, this is just one instance. Can you prove a pattern of Miss Walters' personal use of the name?
She got hired under that name.
Have more to present.
Do we see any like recognizable, like there's nothing. Who are you making costumes for? This is the guy who's like interested in her, if she's destructible. Is this the guy who wants her blood? The Wrecking Crew's boss?
Oh my god. What? He went on a date with She-Hulk.
Oh my god.
Because I made a
dating
profile as She-Hulk.
I did not think of that.
By parading all the questionable men that you dated in front of a courtroom. Oh, Jen, that's gonna be embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing Is there Daredevil in this episode?
Well before Titania filed for the trademark.
When'd she file it?
My client used She-Hulk. Not as
Like,
a name
that was
to
last
exploit
episode.
in order to sell product, but as a genuine
Well
part of her
before. Literally, the guy like left her place when she got served the trademark.
A sturdy back and reinforced king-size bed. JK, JK.
Oh god. Oh, this is gonna be bad.
But She-Hulk, She-Hulk's incredible. She's amazing.
That kind of stings. I mean, to be fair, that guy being rude did help the case.
I thought you were getting better clothes. Oh, yeah, my clothes.
Hello? They shouldn't be left out in the open. Tinsley,
Oh.
does client confidentiality mean nothing to you?
So he works on Daredevils. Alright. So next episode. I like that tease though. So that explains the different color. Why is costumes different? Wait, what happened to I'm rewatching the Defenders saga. So I don't exactly remember what happened to Melvin Potter in season 3. So he's not making. Did he die? I only watched that season once, so I don't remember. So if he didn't die, is he still making Daredevil's costumes? I guess not, since now there's this tailor. This show, I don't know why I found this episode so funny. Cause I was laughing a lot, especially at the beginning. There's no tease at the end. Okay, I guess that's it. So yeah, that was She-Hulk episode 5. I think it was episode 5. I was expecting Daredevil in this episode, but I guess it makes sense to, hold off. But I like the tease at the end. It explains the new look of the costume that we've seen in the trailers. I think the show, based on the trailers and everything, the show didn't really. I think they showed actually probably the worst aspects of the show in the trailers, to the point where I wasn't excited for it. I didn't think the jokes in the trailers really landed, at least for me. Getting through the show now up until this point, up until episode 5, I do find it really funny. I probably laughed the most this episode compared to all the other episodes. There's a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting, like the Shrek comment or Ched trying to explain to Jen how trademarks work. This was a good episode overall. I like they're establishing the tailor of superhero costumes in this universe. And again, this is weird if we're thinking about it. If the Netflix shows are still remain canon in the MCU, don't get into that argument with me. Go listen to our podcast and get into that argument with me there. You're not gonna like it. But if we still consider the Netflix show as canon, it's interesting. This show is set in California, I think, Which again, I talked about how the weird thing about, I said it in like a previous episode recap that I was doing. I just find it weird that the Department of Damage Control prison, the Supermax prison, seems to have been the same as the one that they used to bring the clandestine into like when they were on the chains and going through the hallway. And they were in New Jersey. So they caught them in New Jersey, flew them out to California where they escaped in the prison, not during that time, and then escaped and went overseas immediately after. And then also Kamran escaped the prison and then went on foot back to New Jersey because he didn't have his car with him or he couldn't really fly or anything. He's on the run from damage control. So in the same sense, Matthew Murdock, Daredevil, for I think as far as we've seen, we've only really seen him in New York, primarily Hell's Kitchen. He's coming to California to get a new suit made because Melvin Potter doesn't make his suits anymore. Again, I can't remember what happens in Daredevil Season 3. I do know that Bullseye was wearing Daredevil's costume, and I can't remember if Melvin Potter made that for him or not. So I can't remember if he died or what the reason is. But it's weird that he's getting a suit made for him from a tailor across the country just to basically make the exact same suit but in a slightly different color in parts of the suit. That's all this guy really did when you look at it. I don't know, unless he like enhanced his helmet or something. I really don't know. But it's weird. So it's good that they explained why the suit is different, but the explanation as to why the suit is different kind of confuses me of why Matt would want to do that. And how would he how would he come to this conclusion? Unless he heard the name that's so secret. You have to you need the word of mouth. Like that lawyer guy's like, I know a guy, and he didn't really show up to the right place. And then when they finally convinced the guy to talk to them, they're like, oh no, you can't even see the guy. And then when they went to them, he's like, no, I'm not seeing you. There's so many levels of barrier to entry to this guy. And Matt lives in New York, and he somehow found his way all the way there to get a guy to change the color of his suit. How would he come? I don't know. He's like, I need a new tailor. Who do I know in New York who can do this? Also, I'm blind. I don't have any sort of context. All I know is I think I've heard this guy is great somewhere across the country. Somebody told me that, so somehow they know. And somehow this all made its way back to me in New York for me to be like, oh, that's the guy. Just the astounding number of circumstances that would get him into the situation does not really make sense to me. And really, I'm going on a long-winded thing over just a tease of a helmet, of a yellow helmet. Really, I think what I should be focusing on is this episode, which this episode was funny. I thought it was. I don't think there were amazing jokes or anything. There's probably some better lines that we've heard in the MCU before, but for some reason I was laughing this episode, so I enjoyed it. And I hope the rest of the series kind of maintains this pace, and because I do really like it. I like the comedy aspect of it. I do like the fourth wall breaking, knowing it's in the context of the character. I don't know if I would like fourth wall breaking and everything in the MCU, but I think it passes for She-Hulk, passes for Deadpool. Maybe there's a couple other characters that could get away with that. I don't know. We kind of seen it with Agatha Harkness from WandaVision. There was kind of that fourth wall breaking for that character too. Also, a slight amount of fourth wall breaking from Luke Cage. At one point, he addresses a character as it's my show, to say something should be his name. But I don't have many other thoughts other than we're seeing kind of some of the plots or some of the mystery in the story kind of paint a better picture, I guess. So that creepy guy is probably going to have a bigger role. The guy who is asking She-Hulk about all of her vulnerabilities and what kind of, damage she can sustain, I guess. So I'm wondering if, he's involved with the Wrecking Crew or their boss, or maybe if he is their boss. Somebody wants She-Hulk's blood, and that's the question. There's some sort of, secret villain on top of Titania. So Titania seems to be like the main focus. At least for this episode, they've been teasing her as the main villain since the trailers, and we haven't really seen her throughout the show, just like little glimpses. This episode is the first time we're seeing her as like She-Hulk's nemesis. Like like they barely talk to each other. But it seems like there's another villain that's a secret that we don't know about. I'm sure the Wrecking Crew will show up again. I think there was a shot in the trailer of the Wrecking Crew that we haven't seen in the show yet. So I imagine they'll come back and then they'll probably like talk to whoever their boss is and we'll have a better idea. Like I said before, knowing about the Captain America movie coming up, I don't think we'll see the leader in the show. I was expecting us to see the leader, but now I'm kind of ruling the leader out, but not really. You know, there still might be a possibility. Some people are thinking Kingpin. I guess Kingpin could be an option, especially when we're getting a Daredevil tie-in in the show. I guess that would kind of make sense, you know. And also, Echo, I think, is the next Disney Plus show, unless I'm mistaken. I know we have Werewolf by Night. It's going to be the Halloween special. There's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. And then I think after that, the next Disney Plus show is going to be Echo. Or maybe What If. I can't remember. It's either What If or Echo. Or maybe Loki. No, I think Echo wrapped filming before Loki. So I guess Echo would be first. Marvel did a Phase 5 timeline, so it's up there somewhere. I just don't have it memorized. I just know Ant-Man and the Wasp is the first movie on the list. I forget about everything else. But yeah, I'm not sold on the leader being in the show. I'm not 100% on Kingpin, although I'm kind of thinking maybe. I'm not too familiar with She-Hulk and her rogues gallery of villains to really think like, oh, who else might show up as this person who wants She-Hulk's blood? So I don't really have too many ideas, unfortunately. I'm not the She-Hulk expert in this scenario. My original money was on the leader. I guess now I'm more leaning towards Kingpin, but I don't think it's really Kingpin. I think it's just some mystery to me and I'm just going to be surprised by the end. And also I'm wondering like where would we see She-Hulk come up next? There's a lot of mystery projects that we don't know about in Phase 6 in particular. I know that Charlie Cox at D23, a lot of people were interviewing him about what kind of cameos and stuff he would like to see in Daredevil Born Again. And he did say that he wants to work with Tatiana Maslany again, so maybe we'll see at least Jennifer Walters show up in Daredevil. If he gets his wish, maybe She-Hulk. I don't think that's really in his control, though. I think it's more so what Marvel wants to do and what the writers want to do. I don't know, maybe it's possible. I mean, they're going to have that relationship. They're going to have that, you know, some sort of history from this show that might come up later, so... Honestly, I think from any like cameos from other like Disney Plus MCU stuff would probably be Echo. I imagine Echo would show up in Daredevil Born Again because those characters do have a established relationship in the comics and they have, you know, the similar sort of worlds. They're in New York, they both know Kingpin, so they kind of have like that established knowledge and history together. My other choice for Daredevil Born Again would probably be Spider-Man, but that is not happening. I don't think we could ever expect Spider-Man cameos, not only in the legal aspects of it with Sony and everything, but also just the character itself. He's the Mickey Mouse of Marvel. He's their big character that needs to be in movies, needs to be high budget, with a high-priced actor who's not going to do these smaller roles. And it's unfortunate because the character is deserved in a street level scenario in these smaller stories with this incredible rogues gallery. And rather than being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, they have to put him in these big, large, epic, end of the world movies. And so we only see these short periods of the character in these singular stories, which kind of sucks. But I get it. That's why I'm thankful for like other characters like Miss Marvel, and I'm sure we'll see similar characters in that sort of vein that kind of, you know, take the inspiration or the same sort of like feeling as Spider-Man, the same sort of sentiment at least. And they're not as well known as Spider-Man, where they need to have their big budget movies every time. You can have these smaller Disney Plus series that flesh out the characters, so we can see them cameo here and there. I mean, I know we've had Spider-Man cameos and stuff, but I think you know what I mean. But She-Hulk, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't expect She-Hulk to show up in Ant-Man and the Wasp or Guardians of the Galaxy. Definitely Avengers movies. I think she's going to show up at some point in those Avengers movies. I don't think we'll see her in Secret Invasion or Armor Wars or, I don't know, maybe Secret Invasion. I guess that's a possibility. Or like Ironheart or Agatha and the Coveted Chaos. Is that what it's called now? I don't know. I think that's the big question. Where would you expect to see She-Hulk in a future Marvel Studios project? Based on what we know for Phase 5 and Phase 6. Like, where would you put She-Hulk in what's been announced and what's confirmed and what we know about? Because I think the only thing that makes sense for me that, like, I would maybe expect her is Daredevil Born Again or the Avengers movie. I don't know about anything else at this point. Thunderbolts would be interesting, but again, I doubt it. Don't say World War Hulk in the comics, because that's not a confirmed thing. And again, my thoughts, I think we're beyond a World War Hulk movie, but I know that I'm in the minority and everybody's expecting a World War Hulk movie. Anyways, I'm off to bed. I talked for too long, so let me know what you think in the comments. I'm interested to see where you think you would put She-Hulk next, and also what you thought of this episode, and if you're excited for Daredevil. Although by the time this gets uploaded to YouTube, there's probably like another 2 or 3 episodes out, so let me know what you thought about Daredevil and if you were excited. I don't know. Go check out our podcast, Hit Pause MCU, where we go into further deep dives into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'll have the playlist for that somewhere, but it's up here on YouTube. And hopefully we can produce them more quickly and more often. I know we usually do like once a month or so, but I want to do them in a quicker pace. So, and then go see me on the Maclunkey Squadron podcast. I'll probably post that somewhere as well.